Alright, ladies and gentlemen, strap in, because this is going to be a long one. So as you see from the thumbnail of the video, it says Anpu beats Leo. Yes, he does. We'll get to that footage at the very end of this video, so stay tuned. This video, in general, is going to be me discussing all of my extensive testing with Anpu. I do have him at Immortal. Don't ask. I don't want to think about it. It is out of my mind. That sucked. So the community as a whole, when everyone was reading his kits, everybody thought this guy's going to be amazing. And then when people started playing with him, they said, he's not horrible, but he's not OP. And he's a different type of character. So he is more of a CC control character. He does actually have a lot of damage built in his kit, but his CC abilities is like, as in his AoE CC or stun and his knockback are clutch. And he's actually allowed me to push past a lot of the previous roadblocks I had reached in some game modes. So I got footage from all the different game modes. We're going to go over it. First, I'm going to show you my build. Then we're going to go over some story footage, some arena footage at the end in an interesting comp that has already been highlighted by another content creator. We're going to go over Faction Mine. We're going to go over some dungeons. We're going to go over Ancient Altar. We're going to go over a lot. So this is going to be a longer type video, but I want to show you guys, since his banner is up for another week, exactly what he's capable of. And that might inform your decision whether or not you want to spend all your limited tickets or you actually want to pull on this guy. So the first footage that we're going to go over is his build. So this is my Apnu on my main account that is on my iPhone. I really wish that I could show you guys this stuff live, but sadly this game's not cross-platform. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully. So there's mine. As you see, he is Immortal. He is level 232. Now, his gear. His gear is the footage you're going to see him is in this set. So it is a Light Gap set and a Hawkeye set. The Hawkeye stuff mainly to give you the accuracy, the extra 40 accuracy. And then you see I got accuracy on the head, but attack primary on the hands and feet. And then the secondaries on the top pieces are all looking for attack and accuracy. So Light Gap is ideal in PvP and to a lesser degree in PvE. As you see, I have all of his talents out. I have all of the attack talents maxed and the HP talents maxed. So going back to his gear. So in PvE content, namely like Story, Faction Mine, Soul Mine, and PvP, you're going to want him in that Light Gap gear because it's going to allow him to get his stuns out that much quicker. Now, what I have yet to test because I can't do it till tomorrow is Guild Hunt Turbine Boss Stage 9. Now, for that boss, and since it's a single target boss, I'm actually going to run him in, I'm going to get rid of the Light Gap and go to attack sets to beef up his attack. But there it is. You see he has 178 accuracy. I find that you need about 175 to 200 to ensure almost 100% of the time that his stuns are going to go off. Now again, bear with me because I'm going to pull up the footage on my other monitor. You can look at my face right now. All right, let's look at story mode first. So basically what I was saying is you're going to want probably 2 different gear sets with him. Alright, so now this is story mode, or the campaign mode footage. So I was locked at 4740, and Anpu let me push way past that. As you see, I'm at 49.8 by the time I started recording this. And the reason why I started recording now is because that the prior progress from 48 or whatever it was to now was done at legendary level, not immortal. So as you see, I am running 2 healers to keep Leo alive. Anpu is in the back, and now he's gonna do a CC, boom. And as you see right here, so Leo is way up here killing all these guys, which leaves my whole team wide open to these 3 fellows. But Anpu is gonna do a good job of keeping them locked down. He's going to stun them, then he's going to knock 2 of them back. You can only knock 2 back, but the Daniel's going to come along, and he's going to do some CCs as well. So he pairs really nice with Daniel. As you see there, my Maserati almost died. I can't guarantee that you can replicate this. All of my characters are immortal level 232. Daniel's even immortal +1. So as you see, though, they are pretty much like Ornn up here is the really guy that's going to wreck your team. And actually running this commander, Hagridon with Pain Rune, is keeping Ornn locked down for the most part. And Anpu and Daniel are providing additional CCs, keeping basically this whole team locked down. And that is the big synergies between Daniel and Anpu, is that they just, Daniel is a damaged monster. And Anpu, between him and Anpu, they could, if you were playing this on manual, you could keep these guys locked down pretty much the whole fight. So here's a really cool fight. So you see Leo, solo tank, surrounded by this cavalry with old bot mark here peppering him. So this is going to highlight Anpu. I think he's gonna do his ultimate now. So obviously they say stunned from Leo, and now here comes the big stun. It hit all of them. They're all stunned, and then he pushed them back a little bit, which allowed Leo to create a little space. So the team's just going to move up. Bada and Maserati are going to keep them all healed up. And then right here, you're going to see the big CC, and boom, pushed them back. So I do believe, if I fast forward, that I was able to push through. And right there, too. That CC is just clutch. And it's not just in the radius of the effect. It is a little bit outside it. So if someone is just on the periphery of his that halo, that when he does his ultimate, they get hit. So right here, see, they're on the outside. So they just have to be touching that line. And if we look at the damage meter, so obviously Leo and Daniel are doing the majority of the damage. That's not to say that Anpu can't deal some okay damage. We'll see that footage in another game mode. But of course, Leo and Daniel, given the fact that there's so many adds that they can hit, and Leo likes to charge the battlefield and keep them all up here, Anpu's damage isn't going to be that special on the damage meter. But just know that his CC is very clutch. For the same reasons why some people like Oisa for her CC ability, Anpu is going to do that in spades, and he's going to synergize really well. And yeah, 49-13 is where I made it up to. So I went from 48-39. No, I was stuck at the end of the level, and I was able to push through basically 14 levels with Anpu. And I think I just stopped there. I haven't really tried to progress much further. But my point is he synergizes really well with Daniel as well. Because remember, Daniel needs 4 summons on the field. Daniel can supply sometimes 4 if his Eagle, 2 Jaguars, and the Bear is out at the time. But Anpu has 2 summons. Easily, Daniel's very, very quickly going to hit his threshold on his exclusive to provide all the permanent buffs. I think there's a permanent cooldown. I can't remember what else. You guys have to look into his kit, but just know that part of his kit revolves around needing 4 summons out on the field at once. Let's look at some ancient altar footage now. And the reason this is probably going to be, it might not be the best showcase, but I recorded it, so we'll show you guys. So Anpu, this is Hell Boss. So let's fast forward here. So yeah, that's the first boss. There's my team that I run to down's the first boss. But I really want to show you guys how fast Anpu synergizes in. Here we go. He just synergizes so well with this team. So if you haven't seen my previous video on Muka, so my Muka is built like a tank. My Muka doesn't die. So he actually does, he has inherent lifesteal. He's at exclusive 10, and he's built as a tank. And he's got a little bit of I think he's got 1 hero set, 2 vigorous sets. But watch now, since we're up against one boss, watch the damage meter. So everyone loves Senway, Squirtin, Hattie, and Daniel. That's kind of like the trifecta. But a single boss, Anpu, is actually going to outdo Senway, and Skewer damage. And this boss just melts with this setup. Just melts. As you see, he's kind of fighting. Anpu's kind of fighting with Senway and Skewer. But his ultimate, when he explodes those corpses, if we ever get to that point again, which we won't, there he is, 10.3. He's going to come in second. When he sets off his ultimate, he does a good chunk of damage. Now, let's just watch right here. So, Anpu's gearing up. So he's at one. Let's just wait. So he's at 2.8, and now, boom, 4.2. So his ultimate actually does a huge chunk of burst damage, and as you see in this fight, one-on-one, well, one solo boss, he does better damage than Senway and Skewer, which is a testament to his build, given the fact, remember, he's also in a light gap set and a Hawkeye set, which is why I think if you are struggling or you're right on the cusp, maybe you want to run, you don't really need the accuracy in solo boss modes. Maybe you can just run full attack, just full attack mode. So he is very, very good. We'll let that play out. Very, very good in this team. Like, look at Muka. He's at, what is he at? A third health. Like, this hell boss is now gonna melt before Muka even goes down. Yeah, done. Alright, so hell boss, very, very good. And that also tells me from that testing that he is going to be excellent in the guild hunt on the turbine boss, because again, that's a 1v1 boss, and where you would use Senway has one summon. Anpu has two summons that he is summoning over and over and over again. And also remember, in those longer fights, Anpu's attack is going to ramp up to the threshold, which I do believe is 25% extra attack. So by the end of that fight, say if it's Turbine 11 or higher, I think he's going to shine. So I'll maybe record that footage when I do that tomorrow and make a separate video on that boss. So now, but for now, I just wanted to get this one out sooner rather than later, since I think as of tomorrow, you got 8 days left. Oh, not this player. This player, LVC player, or whatever player that is, never seems to scale right when I pull video off of my phone. So now we're going to look at Faction Mine. Because if you're like me, Faction Mine for the Atlas faction, well, here, we'll just show you the numbers. So you see my Terrans at 236, Wenfear 220, which I think I did actually do better on Wenfear now that I have Bada. So I am progressing on this. But Atlas, I've been stuck because I don't have Zeta. I don't have Nautilus. So I had Skewer and Hattie, and I had Artis, and I had Sorietta. Well, you'll see the team. And I was stuck also on this Rakana stage. Rakana is kind of the bane of everybody in Soul Mine. But Anpu in a light gap gear. So now Rakana is going to get to my back line. He's going to kill Sorietta. And Sorietta's in, well, he's attack, crit, and crit damage. You'll see. But Rakana's just going to wreck him off the bat. And Sorietta's just going to die really, really quickly. So there's my EC Oak. I'm running Oak. He's Immortal +4. And then Maz, Sorietta, yeah. And Anpu is the main, I don't know if he's going to be the main damage healer. But I don't know why I looked at that. So there goes Sorietta. He's dead. But Anpu is going to ramp up. Here comes his ultimate. And then he's just going to kind of control Rakana. And then for some reason my tank is now at the back. Oh, he got flipped by Boar. So he's actually tanking Rakana, which is nice. But that means that my summons, Anpu's summons, are now tanking both these tanks. So they died. And there we go. Now they're stunned. Push them back. And you see Anpu's right in the middle. He can hit all these guys. Rakana right now is in the middle. Rakana is going for my Skewer and Hattie. But no, there he is. Stunned and pushed back. See that stun and knockback? That was clutch. I'll show you that again. So Rakana, he's in there, wrecking havoc, and then no, stun, get the hell out of here, buddy. And then immediately summons, because remember, the way his kit is, as soon as he does his ultimate, he kills his soul guards. He immediately refreshes the cooldown of the skill that summons 2 more soul guards. So he will pretty much perpetually have 2 summons on the field at all times. And there they are again. So I was stuck here for the longest time, because that Rakana was just wrecking my whole team. Well, you know what? Anpu, with his control kit, he handles that flawlessly. So here you see, and that's also why I want him in the light gap gear. I want that initial stun and pushback to go out immediately. Give my team some freaking breathing room. You know, Maz, obviously Maz is really good. And I know the majority of you, especially if you're free to play, probably can't put a team like this together. You're not going to have Anpu at Immortal. You might not have Mazrani at Immortal. And I like Oak because Oak also has a bunch of inherent stun in his kit as well. Plus, I took him up to X10 and really built him beefy. So even after this footage, I made him better. Oak is just earning his stripes with Anpu. And so, like I said, if you're free to play, maybe you can't field a team like this. I know there are 3 triple S's on there, but I just want to show you guys what he can do, because this game is really generous, and you will get to this point within a few months, maybe 5 months if you're free to play. I obviously paid for my time to bypass time, so I got to this a little bit sooner. But you'll get to this point. This will give you an idea of what to build. So actually, knowing this team, I'm actually quite curious. I have 1 copy of Zeta. I would like to see what Zeta does, because Zeta is also a very, very beefy tank, but I only have 1 copy, so that's going to be a long time. So Oak, you are the man, the myth, the legend until then. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys Faction Mine, because if you're like me, which the majority of you probably will be, Faction Mine is the hardest of the faction dungeons. But Anpu, like, I let this thing roll. Like, it's just a thing of beauty watching him work. If you do have him lower than Immortal with, like, and remember I have all of the health talents, the last one's done, he is really squishy. So he can get zerged down really quickly. And in that case, you'll see in some instances, I actually pair res with him. So that is the Faction Mine. Close that up. I was very impressed with him in Faction Mine. So now let's go to dungeons. Now, he is not the greatest in your typical dungeons, but I wanted to throw him into Sincero because I was running, well, as you see, here's the team. So I obviously got my 200s because I'm at the point where I can just zerg this thing down. But I wanted to see what he would do. So obviously I'm losing the damage bonus to my Emma, but I'm keeping my Emma in there. I'm going to switch out the Summoner Commander. I'm going to put in the Summoner Commander to give more attack to the summons. And I do believe my previous best time is 29 seconds. So watch the clock, because this is going to happen very quickly. But also, I want you guys to watch the damage meter. So when he does his first ultimate, and here it comes. So he's charged up. Look at him. He's at 400,000 damage. Not much. Not much at all. Now watch this. Boom. Boom. Right there. Right up to 5.2. So he was actually at 1.3 before that happened. Let's just show you that again. Let's back it up. So, wham! There it is. So he was at 1.3 and boom! Up to 5.2. So that, again, highlights how much damage that ultimate can do. And it's an AoE. So 20 seconds. That blew through my fastest time in Sincero. Absolutely destroyed it. So I did not try Disa, because Disa is your single targets are going to do all the work there. Like, you're just not going to be able to beat it. But I guess I should maybe try it, but I really don't have to. I put all my hunters in there and they just go to town. So as you see, normally I was running Skewer in this comp, because Skewer, even though herself is going to be outside of the circle, she's not going to be damaging. Hattie does provide an attack buff. So I did try Anpu in here, but keep in mind I'm losing the party-wide attack buff that we get from Skewer. And while it does work, I'm just going to spoil it for you right now so we don't waste time. It is nowhere near as effective as Skewer. the time was actually a lot slower. So, Sincero, he sped up the time, but mainly because of that one burst damage, and it just dies so quickly anyway. Interadome, which lasts a little longer. They got that big, that interstage, kill the bombs thing. He's not as good. Not as good at all. Plus, keep in mind, too, his majority of his damage comes from his AoE, which he's outside the circle. He's not going to be able to inflict that damage anyway. And now, last but not least, the Piece de Resistance PvP. PvP in Arena. As you see right now, I am sitting in second in Arena, regular Arena. Here's the teams. So I'm trying to find somebody that is not in Revolution, which is my guild cluster, to fight. But other than Venom, they've all been pushed out. There's a guy called Jake Sinew, who I normally pick on, but he's been pushed way out of the top whatever. So I just said screw it, and I'm going to pick on random here, which is a member of my guild. So this team you're going to see in Arena a lot. This is like the current meta. This Leo, this triple Vanguard, Bailey, and Maz, and people have switched out different characters than Bailey, but this is the team. There's no healer, and there is no Leo. Keep that in mind. This is also a team that's been, Gameplay Horizon is one that first led on to this, and you see there's res in the back, and it's not pretty. It is nowhere near pretty. So there's my commander. Obviously you see no synergy with Anpu or Daniel, just score. And I got him hidden in the back just because I want to keep him away from Leo. See, there goes Leo. He's spinning. He's doing his thing. Awisa is almost dead, but she applies a stun. And then Anpu gives his stun. As you see, Artis is now dead. As you see, Leo was actually taking a ton of damage. So Rez is going to immediately cause Anpu to stun again. There goes Crete. Now it's just Leo, Maz versus my team. There goes Leo. Leo's now dead. And then obviously Maz isn't going to be able to compete. And this is kind of the outcome of how this usually works out. So if you don't have Leo, you don't have Crete, you don't have Maserani, maybe you go all in on Daniel and Anpu to climb an arena. Now also keep in mind that I ran into a team that put Luke in the back, and putting Luke in the back wrecks that counter. Just wrecks it. Luke sitting back there just AoEing, peppering, kills that counter. So we're going to wrap it up right there, ladies and gentlemen, since I'm already 25 minutes in. My final thoughts on Anpu is that he is actually very good. I think they did a very, very good job of designing his kit. If he also was a damage monster, he would be absolutely broken given his control ability, his CC ability in this match. So if you have any comments, any suggestions, leave them down in the comment sections of this video. I will get to everything. I respond to every comment. So until next time, guys, see you in the next one. Cheers, peace, bye-bye.